How to build rapport with customers. One of the things that people I work with struggle with all the time is how to build rapport with customers. So this video is all about that specific aspect of your business development process. I'm going to take you through all the steps. So join me for this episode of The Inside BS Show. Hi, I'm Dave Lorenzo. This is the Inside BS Show, and today's video is all about how to build rapport with customers. How do you connect with people in a natural way on an emotional level? That's what rapport really is. So this video, I'm going to show you first how to initially connect, and then how to deepen that connection, and how to do it in a way that is familiar and comfortable, regardless of whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. In fact, this is probably going to be easier for introverts. There, I said it. It's actually going to be easier for introverts to build rapport with customers. And I'm going to share my 4-step process for you. And I need you to watch the video all the way to the end because of two reasons. One, I'm going to give you one thing you shouldn't do. I don't want you to do this one thing. And I'll tell you a story. I'll share a story with you about a mistake I made initially early on in my business development career. Once you hear that story, you're not going to ever make this mistake again. So you're going to be glad I shared that story with you at the end of the video. Also, I'm going to give you a free gift, and I'll give you the free gift right before the end of the video as well. So stay with me through the whole thing. Let's dive right into the content. The first thing you do if you want to build rapport with customers, step one in the process is you got to find something in common with them. Let's say you are with your customer and you're waiting for a meeting to start. You're waiting for your customer's boss to walk in the room. And you're sitting there and they're sitting there and they got their pen in their hand and they're fiddling with their pen. Maybe they're tapping their pen on the desk, or they're doing this, they're clicking the pen because they're fidgety and they're antsy. You know how that is. It's either uncomfortable silence or there's fidgeting going on. You know you need to say something to fill that dead air. So what do? Well, you got to find something in common, something that you share with that person in that moment. The easiest thing to do is to simply look around the room and pick something out. So I like to look around the room and I'll go perhaps, hey, look at that painting over there. That's really interesting. What do you think of that painting? Where do you think they got the idea for that painting? Or do you think that painting is part of somebody's private collection? Now look, it doesn't matter if it's like a stock painting that came with the furniture, like the furniture company threw it in when they delivered the conference room table. It doesn't matter. You're now talking about something that you can both see, that you can both experience. It's saying, hey, that's an interesting painting, or hey, it's a really interesting painting hanging on the wall. Where do you think they got it? Or that's a really interesting painting hanging on the wall. What do you think it means, or whose choice is that? If there's a story behind the painting, they'll tell you. And if there's not, at least you both share the fact that it's a very, plain looking painting. Now, if you don't like that example, there's another way you can go, and that is to simply state the obvious. When there's something obvious going on in the room, you calling it out is a way to break the ice. So what does that mean? There's a scene in the movie Pulp Fiction when John Travolta is out to dinner with his boss's wife, Mia Wallace. So John Travolta and Uma Thurman are sitting in a booth in a restaurant, and Travolta is out to dinner with the boss's wife, and he's taking her out at the boss's request. And they're sitting there looking at each other, and he says to her, "Don't you hate awkward silences?" Right? The words awkward silence, that's fantastic. So if you're sitting in a room at a conference table and you're sitting there with your customer and you're waiting for the boss to come in and there's silence hanging over the room and it's just deafening, the silence is just so unbelievable that you feel like you have to say something, Just look at your customer and go, don't you hate it when you're waiting for the meeting to start and there's all this awkward silence? What should we talk about? And when you say that, the person's going to go, oh, I really do hate that. I was at an event the other day, and then they'll tell you a story. They'll bail you out. Here's the interesting thing about human nature. When one human being expresses vulnerability to another human being, that's an immediate bond. You want to build rapport, find a way to be vulnerable. That specific emotion, vulnerability, is incredibly powerful. So when you say, don't you hate awkward silences just like this? They're going to go, oh my gosh, I really do. And they'll bail you out. They'll tell you a story. So finding something in common is the first step, even if that thing that you have in common is the fact that there's an awkward silence. Step number 2 in how to build rapport with customers is to get them talking about themselves. You got to get the other person to talk about himself or herself. You got to get them talking about themselves. So how do you do that? Well, when you sit down, you go, hi, how's it going? How are things? It's a great open-ended question. What's new here at XYZ company? Anything exciting you guys are working on? What are you most excited about? How are you going to finish this month? How are you going to finish this quarter? What's new in your world? Did you do anything fun this past weekend? Are you looking forward to doing something exciting next weekend? I'm wondering, do you have any kids? And if they tell you, yeah, I got 3, oh, great. I have 2 kids myself. And then you start talking about your kids and you ask them to talk about their kids. And now we're getting into step number 3. And step number 3 is kids, pets, and hobbies. Kids, pets, and hobbies. So you get them talking about themselves. Hey, how are you going to finish the quarter? Or how are you going to finish the month? Oh, we hope to be great, blah, 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 blah. Terrific. What do you got planned for this weekend? Anything exciting? Well, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Oh, that's interesting. Are you taking your kids to the baseball tournament that you mentioned? Yes, I'm taking the kids to the baseball tournament. Kids, right? What are you doing this weekend, Dave? Well, I got 2 dogs, and I'm taking my dogs to the park. We want to socialize them, so we're hoping that we get to meet other dogs. My dogs are just turning 1 year old, and connecting them with other dogs is critical because we want them to socialize. Do you have any pets? Oh, yeah, I have a border collie. Oh, a border collie, very interesting. It's a very smart dog. Sure is. How old is he? Oh, he's 3 years old. 3 years old, that's great. Is he playful? Does he need a lot of attention? Pets. The third thing is hobbies. Listen, Stan, I'm wondering, what do you do? What do you do in your spare time? What do you do for fun? You have any hobbies? Oh, that's interesting. You collect beer cans. Wow, that's a fantastic hobby. How many different brands do you have? How do you measure the value of your collection? How long have you been doing that? How did you get into that in the first place? Kids, pets, and hobbies, fantastic conversation topics. Great opportunity for you to break the ice and make a connection with other people. The fourth step in the rapport building process is after you've met them and after you've had this small talk, find out who you can connect them with to help them become more successful or to add value to their life. So, for example, if you find out that they have kids and the kids are big baseball fans and you happen to have tickets to the local baseball team, give that person the tickets. Drop them off at their office. Send them to them in the mail. Tickets to one of the games. It's a fantastic way for you to add value to that person's life. If you find out that that person collects beer cans and your cousin collects beer cans, you connect them with your cousin and they can trade, they can go to beer can conventions together, they can do all kinds of interesting things built around that hobby. If you find out that they have a pet and you know of a class for pet owners that's going to be taking place in the local area, invite them to come to the class with you. They may not take you up on the offer, but you extending that opportunity is a great way to continue the rapport you've started and build on that rapport with your customers beyond just the initial meeting. So those are the 4 steps. Find something in common, get them talking about themselves, kids, pets, and hobbies, and then introduce them to something else or find another way to connect them with additional value you can provide for them. Those are the 4 steps to build rapport with customers. Now there's one thing you can't do, and I want to make sure that I share this story with you. But before I do, please do me a favor. If you found this video valuable, hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see other topics or more on this topic, let me know down in the comments, because your comments are like fuel for me. I feed off of them. I make videos based on what you write about in the comments. Your thumbs up, liking this video really helps me out. It helps me out with YouTube, and it makes me feel good. And I know you want to make me feel good. Finally, please subscribe. I love it when people subscribe to my videos. It warms my heart. Also, I want to give you a free gift. And that free gift, all you got to do to receive it is go down into the description of this video, and you'll see a note that says free gift from Dave. This free gift is my revenue roadmap. This is my marketing plan for people just like you, people who are out there in the world creating value for others. This is for professionals. So if you're a lawyer, you're a CPA, you're an architect, you're a consultant, you're a coach of some kind, you're a professional speaker and you want to become a coach or a consultant, or you're a professional speaker, you want to add an additional revenue stream, you need my revenue roadmap. Revenue roadmap is a marketing plan for people just like you and me, people just like us. Click on that link below, get the revenue roadmap for free. All right, let me tell you the story that includes the one thing you should never do when you're trying to build rapport with your customers. So I'm at a networking event, and I hate networking events, and I'm trying to force myself to socialize with people. And I'm looking to bond and build rapport, and one of my clients, one of my customers comes over, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to build rapport with this customer? How am I going to build rapport with this customer? And he comes over with a woman. It's a man and a woman. And I said to him, hey, Joe, it's great to see you. Is this your beautiful wife? And right behind him comes another woman. She made a beeline. She was super fast, came right up. And I, without missing a beat, I said, it is wonderful to meet you. You're even more beautiful than the pictures I saw in Joe's office. The second woman comes around to the other side, so now there's Joe, and there's a woman on one side and a woman on the other side. And the woman on the other side looks at Joe and says to him, Joe, why do you have pictures of her in your office? Joe turns to me and he goes, no, Dave. This is my wife, and he points to the woman who walked up from behind him, and he looks at the other woman and he says, this is Melissa, and Melissa is my assistant. Okay? So I saw pictures of Joe on a trip with Melissa when I was in Joe's office, and I thought that Melissa was Joe's wife. And I put my foot in my mouth, and Joe's wife was right next to him. So, the moral of that story is the one thing you should never do is you should never make reference to relationships when you're trying to build rapport with your clients. Never say, oh, you know, that picture you showed me with this person, or the person I saw you with at dinner. Right? When you see two people at dinner in a business setting, introduce yourself or say hello and respect their privacy. Do not ever make reference to when you saw someone else with other people in a different place. Keep your rapport building, keep your professional networking skills, or when you're trying to build rapport, keep your rapport building very light. Keep it focused on things you have in common, or on kids, on pets, or on hobbies. Never reference where you saw someone with someone else in a place other than where they should be. Sometimes people go places with people they shouldn't be going to places with, and the fact that you saw them is not something you want to advertise. My name is Dave Lorenzo. I hope you got a good chuckle out of that story, and I hope you took the lesson from it because you don't want to do what I did there. If you're looking to build rapport with customers, watch this video again. If you need more information or if you want to take me up on my free offer, just go down into the description and you can take me up on my free offer there. This is the Inside BS Show. We're back here again tomorrow with another show for you. Until then, here's hoping you make a great living and live a great life.